Hello, I would like to present my theme. It's about Ripple, it's about new technology, it's about a new way of transferring money. And shortly about me. I'm a software engineer with about 10 years in different spheres, mostly in backend. I tried some projects with front-end development. Now I working with mobile development on one of the e-commerce project. And I was always interested in finance, and one of the things that was stand up from the others is a blockchain, and I tried to understand it deeply and try to get how it worked, what's inside it, and how I can use it. So my next words will be about Ripple. Why this Ripple? How it worked? What companies, from which companies it consists, and how it could help anybody to make projects better, to make transfer money cheaper, and how to using modern technologies. So, why Ripple? Because Ripple is a new era of global payments. Its era started in 2008, but about this later. And Ripple has 3 points. First of it could be replaced as international payment, cross-border international payments. Second, it could be replaced as a currency exchange, and it could solve a last mile problem on every project which connected to the internet and which required to send some money to the foreign countries. And what about SWIFT? Why it's not so good for us? Although it worked very well in last several tens of years. Recently, as we maybe know, there is some security breaches in it. In 2016, it was not so long ago. There is attack of Bangladesh bank that could be suggested as big hole on the security protocol of the SWIFT, and it's still and the hacker is still about $51 million, and a number of other cases. But aside from the security problems, there is huge fees on every transaction, and if you would like to send your money directly with SWIFT, you could lose from $25 to $65 per transaction, and you then lose some transaction on international payments, about 10 to 25. And if you sum this money, you understand that it's better to send a large sum of money than tiny. And there is one problem too about some political instability about a decision which could make SWIFT owners, and it could be banned to some countries. And what about foreign exchange? Why it's better than foreign exchange which we use now? Because this method it help you to create a new way of transactions. It's first currency agnostic, that you could use any currency and exchange it to any currency using some special intermediary like XRP coin. It has a lower fee than any else at all on the market, and it has some new technology pathfinder algorithm which could be used to send some currency with indirect conversion. Like if you wanted to convert euro to Korean won, then you underground create the Ripple protocol create exchange and to the USD dollar, then it exchange to Japan pond, and then automatically it's converted to Korean yen, and all this in one transaction. There is one problem which was not very obvious, but it's hard to resolve when you're dealing with international money, when you need to convert money from one to another currency. When you send some money to foreign country, at the other end, you need to get some exchange which help you to receive some money in local exchange. So this problem resolved by Ripple 2. It resolved with a special type of component which I describe later. This map about this last mile problem, and mostly it resolved in European country, in Australia and the States, both South and North, and I think it's pretty quickly distributed to the other countries. So what about money transfer options? The money transfer options, as we know, consist of several steps, which was closer to users, and they just using the credit cards and send money and don't know how it works inside. So if we wanted to send some money, if I'm John and I want to send money to Peter, I send it to my bank. This bank understands that I wanted to send it to Peter, and that Peter outside of our country, and then John's my bank sent it to Federal Reserve, and the Federal Reserve sent it to a larger bank with international ability to send money. Large bank then send money to the European Central Bank, and then in this chain there is Peter's bank, which accept the payments and debited and credited card to Peter's account. And each step, on each step, I lose my money on every transaction. And if, for example, you wanted to send $5,000, then when you calculate whole transactions costs, you will be charged about $250, and it's only for the simple payment, which is huge sum of money. So you could say that you send money with Bitcoin, and it's okay, but at first you need to exchange your Bitcoin money, and you need to create on the exchange, on the crypto exchange wallet, place a wallet with some fees, then send money to the Peter's wallet, and then Peter need to create payment too, and get payments and transfer it to local money. And here is slightly lower fees than you get from the usual payment, but these fees doesn't include money which you lose when you try to exchange and when course of the Bitcoin changes through the day. And it pretty quick time, it's about 60 seconds, but some people doesn't know how to create exchange cabinet and how to send and receive money. It's a headache for them, and it's not preferable way to payment for them. And here is comes up Ripple company. It create some intermediary product which based on XRP ledger, and this product just inserted between Jones and Peter's bank, and do it work by just by themselves. So it not create some additional layer of complexity. It just connect other banks to the XRP ledger and RippleNet protocol, and it is transparent to the users. So users, as usual, send money to the banks and get money without any additional conversions, and very quick and by market price. So what about Ripple ecosystem? Ripple ecosystem consists of different parts, and these parts are xCurrent, XRapid, and xVia. And there is additional parts developed by Ripple is xSpring. Its development framework, it's Codios, something like smart contracts on other blockchains. It's Interledger, very interesting solution for inter-blockchain communication and sending money. There is Coil and XRPT bot. It's like something of monetizing social media and sending money to the authors on all the stories and the posts. And XRP currency. So I describe shortly what is XRP ledger, how works RippleNet, and slightly describe Interledger. Ripple system started before Bitcoin, but in this time it was not named as Ripple system. It was its first idea created by Rainer Fugger, and he developed first prototype of it. Then it handed over to two project members of Ripple, is Jed McCalb and Chris Larson, and they together founded a US-based technology company. And then, based on this product, they created independent ledger inspired by Bitcoin in this time, and later they created currency, which then will rename it to XRP. And from this point, we could think about Ripple as a company with cryptocurrency. So here is difference between Ripple and XRP. Ripple is a company and XRP is open to anyone asset. Ripple use software which developed by open source, plus great involvement here is Ripple. XRP it's first launched by the leaders of the Ripple. They for now have about 100 billions of Ripple, which send it to the market every month, and every month Ripple sold on the currency exchanges. And there is one main point that Ripple can be owned by anyone, but XRP can be owned by everyone, but Ripple owned by founders, investors, and it's pretty like enterprise company which we know on the market. So Ripple has three main types: is xCurrent, XRapid, and xVia components. And the first component, xCurrent, is a solution designed to create interbody payments with Ripple net members. It's built on Interledger protocol, which helps you to send money from any point to any point, practically. And create it very quickly. So there is main companies, as you see, there is Messenger, there is Ledger, and the FX ticker, which use it as a pool for the exchange rates. When you send money from one bank to the other bank, you send it with a messenger, which then converted to the ledger, then it validated and sign it. So it happened in one transaction. Here is another example of a Ripple company. It is XRapid, and it used it for transferring currency from any banks to any banks. And here is a pool of market makers who could help you exchange your money transparently, and it rely on properties of XRP ledger and lower fees, which you could be very useful when you send money to international banks. And another component of the Ripple system is xVia. xVia is a set of interfaces which should be implemented by banks who wanted to use Ripple, and it pretty standardized and could be used with any equipment, and any bank could see source code of it and could understand how it could be implemented better for the needs of the banks. Interledger is a method to send currency from one blockchain to another blockchain, and this is used with special interfaces too, and it's distributed. So practically it could be used to useful to send any assets which could be converted to Ripple currency to any other assets. So it's like transport layer. And how it worked? It worked because they created their own protocol of consensus, which could help you quickly. It's around 5 seconds to send a transaction in RippleNet, create any movements of money, and not only money, it could be smart contracts, and it very clever idea because it not create it did not generate power consumption. It not a stack of work protocol, and it did not owned by anyone. So when you create account, you should lock on your wallet 20 XRP, and then this XRP will be burned on every transaction. It's anti-fraud protocol of the this blockchain that you could not send a huge transaction to anyone, huge number transaction to anyone. So it main point is that it use validators. Every server divided on two roles. First role is a tracking server, and second role is validating server, and this is the main and key part of the building networks on the repo. So every tracking server should know what validators it should will use, and every validator server know how to find tracking server because they have unique node list in it, and when a validator gets some information from tracking server, it first checked what is it server in the unique node list, and then if it in it, then it accept transaction, validates it. If it not, it's just keep it and send to the network when it packet find correct server or correct validator. And here is a ledger. Ledger is something like a block in the meaning of block. Last closed ledger is last closed block. Open ledger is ledger is a block under process. So when you send transaction, it send it to open ledger. And proposer is a block which could be supposed to be next and should be validated by others validators. So here is several rounds of sending transaction for validation, and on each round, every validators see what transaction should be included into the next block and which should be thrown out of this. So as you can see on the lower slide, here is a green triangle. It's transaction included because it should be because it included in two other blockchains from left and right validator, and from right validators, validator should be excluded transaction because it don't include it into left as under validator. And then when validators agreed on what transaction should be included into the candidate set, candidate set sent to other validators, and they should generate hash sum and send this hash sum to other validators. When this hash sum is inside with other, then this transaction included as last ledger block, and then its transaction should be distributed between members of the blockchain, and then every node generate next block, and if some transactions are not included in this open ledger, then it's included in the next, and the process just repeated. I think that's all. It's a short description of the Ripple network, and if you have some question, you can ask me.
Hi, Andrey.
Hello.
Hi. Thanks for the great presentation today. I just wanted to ask about the validators. So what's the incentive mechanism for the validators here to maintain the network?
I don't find information about that validators get some reward for it. I think it's maintained as a gate for the needs of some big banks. So it's part of solution for some banks, which should be stable, and when they stay stationed validators inside bank perimeter, and they supported it, and there is some tracking servers which should use this validator as entry point to the transaction, but there is no any money or cryptocurrency which will be rewarded for the next block, but this is good because there is no time to making decision which block should be next as step of work, and because of this network very quick in sending transaction. So I think about it in this way because there is no there is no information about rewarding validators. It's like open source ability. Everyone could be validators, but I think the better applicability for this is build it inside your perimeter of some enterprise, and and create it as a part of network, as a stable part of the network.
Understood. Thank you.
Hi, Andrew. Very nice talk. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. I think time's up. Thank you very much for coming.
Absolutely.